One moment, please. All right, and we're live.
Thank you. Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Cavan-Monaghan to order this morning, Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. First on the agenda, after the call to order, of course, is the disclosure of any pecuniary interest or conflict of interest by the members. Are there any?
None.
No, none.
Thank you. Moving on to the minutes of the previous meeting, which was March 4th of this year. Are there any comments or questions regarding those minutes?
Not for me.
All right, so I'd ask for a motion to approve those minutes. Dave, second? All in favor? Thank you. The minutes are accepted. Now moving on to the main reason for us being here this morning, the minor variance application MV0322. Turn it over to Christina Coulter.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, committee members, and those of you joining us for our online public meeting. This is the public meeting for minor variance application MV03-22, and the committee has before them a planning report number 2022-19. The application applies to lands located in Part Lot 22, Concession 1 of the Cavan Ward and identified by assessment roll number 1509-010-010-01100 as shown on attachment number 1 to this report. The application was applied for by Jeff and Linda Wright on behalf of the owners Alan and Marilyn Wright and was received by the township on February 23rd, 2022. The property is the subject of Peterborough County Land Division Consent Application B2921. Part 1 is the severed parcel, and the parcel to the east is the retained parcel. The property is a previously existing vacant lot of record with approximately 290 meters of frontage on Eagleson Line, a depth of approximately 727 meters, and a total lot area of 21.2 hectares. The property is zoned agricultural. Agricultural uses and a single detached dwelling are permitted in the agricultural zone, provided the parcel has a minimum lot area of 40 hectares. So while the severed parcel previously existed as a separate parcel with a lot area of 21.2 hectares and conformed to the previous in effect zoning bylaw, the severed parcel is now deficient in lot area under the current bylaw and therefore requires a minor variance as a condition of the consent application. The preliminary survey submitted with the application indicates that the lot line will not be recreated exactly as the original lot configuration. The northern lot line has been surveyed to follow the existing fence lines and accommodate the cultivated portion of the agricultural fields. The purpose of the minor variance is to reduce the minimum lot area requirement from 40 hectares to 21 hectares as it applies to the subject property. All other standard regulations of the agricultural zone will apply to the property. Notice of the application was circulated by first class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters of the subject property, to all required ministries and agencies, and to all township department directors. A sign was posted on the subject property and the notice of public meeting was posted on the township website. The notice complies with the requirements of the Planning Act. To date, the planning department has not received any written or verbal comments about the proposed variance from members of the public. Township staff had no objections to the application. Peterborough Public Health had no objections to the proposed minor variance. And in correspondence dated March 25th, 2022, so after the writing of this report, Otonabee Region Conservation Authority indicated that the application is consistent with section 3.1 of the provincial policy statement referencing natural hazards. Orca indicated that the application is consistent with sections 2.1 and 2.2 of the provincial policy statement referencing natural heritage and water, and policy 4.2.4 of A Place to Grow, the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe, referencing lands adjacent to key hydrologic features and key natural heritage features. Orca indicated that permits will not be required from their agency for any proposed development and that the property is not located within an area that is subject to the policies contained within the Trans-Forest Protection Plan. As presented to you today, Planning Report 2022-19 provides an analysis of the proposal. And I'll just go back to the page. And recommends that the Committee of Adjustment review and consider all verbal and written comments received regarding this application, and that the committee approve minor variance application MV0322 with no conditions. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Chairman Semple for any questions from the committee and the public.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions, first of all, from the committee members?
Sorry, I assume that this is in anticipation of building a house on the property, which is not part of this.
That's correct. So a house would be permitted on the property. The applicants have indicated at this time there's nothing proposed for the subject property, but in the future, it would be eligible for a building permit.
Okay. That's the only question I had.
Any other questions from members of the committee?
No questions from me.
All right. I have a question. I note that the applicant is not the owner, or it's on behalf of the owners.
Correct.
Is there a particular reason for that that you're aware of? Are they going to be buying this property?
So it is the family. The applicant is the son and daughter-in-law, and the owners are the parents, and they're quite elderly. So, so the son and daughter-in-law handled the application on their behalf.
All right. And in the report, I think at the end, there's something saying that the County of Peterborough supported the recreation of the property. What does that mean? What did they do?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman Semple, through you. This was originally started as an application. I'll just go to the sketch. The parcels previously existed as separate parcels, but there's a common ownership clause in the land registry, noticing that this parcel to the east was registered in the same identical name as the parcel to the west, merged them on title. So what had to happen in order for the owners to have the two separate parcels separate as they had existed previously was that they had to go through a severance application with the County of Peterborough. So that severance application was supported by the Peterborough County Land Division Committee, which gave them essentially draft approval to split the lots subject to meeting a number of conditions. And one of those conditions was that a minor variance be applied for the severed parcel in order to recognize the reduced lot area. The retained parcel meets all of the requirements for the agricultural zone, so it didn't require any conditions. The other conditions that would be required for that severance would be to have the parcel surveyed, which the owners have done. And there will be some additional fees to stamp the deed and have it registered at land registry as a separate parcel again.
Right. So do you know whether this parcel was acquired later on?
Yeah, I think the way that it happened was, I think the current owner's father actually owned the property and deeded it to his son, who's the current owner now. And it was unbeknownst to the owners. It wasn't until they were hoping that their granddaughter, I believe, would be able to someday have their own piece of property, and they realized that it was not separate anymore.
Right. So the only reason they're here having to do this is because they didn't put it in different names at that time.
Basically, that's exactly it. Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Those are my questions. Any other questions arising from that, from the members?
No,
No.
none.
All right. Then I would ask for a motion to approve the minor variance application.
Yeah, I will motion to approve with no conditions.
Well, thanks, Aaron. And second, Dave? Are you seconding, Dave, or do you have a question? Oh, thank you. Dave,
Yes.
seconding the motion. All in favor then? All right. Then the minor variance application MV 0322 is approved without any conditions. And that concludes our business this morning. So I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Second that.
And, all right, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.